Well, a disappointing day yet again for the Indian women's cricket team in New Zealand as they were thrashed by England by 4 wickets in their 4th game in this World Cup. My colleague Shazia Abbas joins me. Shazia, another disappointing performance. We thought after the match against West Indies that this Indian women's side can probably defeat England as well, considering England hadn't even won a single game before this match. But the performance was so poor, another batting collapse. And what are your thoughts about the performance?
Siddhant, the 2017 World Cup final memories came back rushing, and I was expecting India to win easily against the 7th place England team, but that was never the case because they began on a poor note, a poor batting display by the Indian batters. Let me guys tell you that England won the toss and they elected to field, and from there onwards the story was always in England's favor. They restricted India to 134 and they were chasing 135 England, and they were able to do it quite, I won't say convincingly, but without many hiccups, they chased the target.
I believe England was so short on confidence that they managed to win this game by 4 wickets. I believe if they were playing to their true potential, India would have lost this game by 7 or 8 wickets. Such was our poor performance. And talking about the batting display, Shazia, our top order, and in terms of, apart from Smriti Mandhana, nobody fired. Not even Mithali Raj, who's the highest scorer in ODI in women's cricket altogether. She has got scores of 1, 5, 31 and 9 in this World Cup. So 3 single-digit scores for the Indian captain, and that really has made it very difficult for India to put up big totals.
Even today, Siddhant, when the Indian batters were batting, only 4 of them were able to get scores in double digit, and Smriti Mandhana being the highest scorer for India, scoring 30 runs. But then the England captain Heather Knight played her best inning, and showed that why she is the captain of the team, and led the team perfectly to the win. And here I would like to point out one more thing. During the match, there were some positives from Indian camp. The fielding, I would say, was a bit sloppy, but at the fag end, the way Harmanpreet took one catch, that was brilliant. But also one problem for India before the Australia match is that Harmanpreet was injured during the match and was seen going back to the pavilion midway, and she was limping, and we haven't heard as of now what is her status. Exactly, what is the status. And before the Australia game, which is scheduled to take place on March 19th, there is no clarity whether Harmanpreet will play the big game or not.
Well, let me just tell our viewers that apart from Smriti Mandhana, Smriti Mandhana scored 35 runs, by the way, and apart from her, Harmanpreet Kaur scored 14. Richa Ghosh, who was run out unfortunately by Nat Skiver, scored 33 runs, and it was her partnership with Jhulan Goswami that took India to this total also. At one stage, the situation was so bad that India were tottering at 86 for 7. And from there, it even looked difficult that people thought that India might even get bowled out for less than 100.
Exactly, Siddhant. Here also, when we were watching the game upstairs, we were asking each other whether the team will be able to cross the 3-figure mark or not, whether they will be able to get 100 or not. But thankfully, they were able to, but that wasn't enough.
But clearly it wasn't enough because the batting was so shoddy that against a team that hadn't even won a single game, were bottom of the table in a way because they had lost all their 3 games before this. They come up against you and then you get bowled out for 134. Against this England side, with the kind of confidence India had coming into this game, after they beat the West Indies by such a huge margin, it was really bad to see how they fared today. And my problem is that there are players who aren't performing, for that matter, in regards to batting especially. Yastika Bhatia hasn't done quite a bit this World Cup.
I think the biggest disappointment for me has been captain Mithali Raj.
Of course, I was coming to that. So Yastika Bhatia is there, Deepti Sharma is there, and Mithali Raj is there. So if Smriti Mandhana is 1, if your 2, 3 and 4 are not performing properly, you're going to have a problem. Last time Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandhana bailed them out by scoring hundreds. But it won't happen every game. The others have to step up, which hasn't happened at all in this World Cup. And considering we were talking about how Mithali Raj's record it speaks for itself in terms of numbers. That sort of performance hasn't come at all at this World Cup.
Siddhant, the thing is that you cannot depend every time on Smriti and Harmanpreet. They did the job in the last game, but the others have to fire as well, and you cannot just depend on these two batters all the time, and they will have to perform when they step out on 19th of March against the table toppers Australia, which is going to be a big match for India. And after that they will play against Bangladesh on 22nd, and post that they will take on South Africa as well. So 3 games remaining for Team India, but the biggest game is on the 19th against Australia, the table toppers.
It's true. The next game is going to be extremely crucial, but
and difficult.
It's like, considering how India have performed right now, they beat Australia in the last World Cup semi-final, if you remember, with Harmanpreet Kaur scoring that fantastic 170 odd runs. But considering how the situation is right now, I really don't see this Indian side getting past Australia, even though the game hasn't even started, and people might say that I'm having a pessimistic approach to this Indian side. But considering how good Australia have been, how dominating they have been, they bowled out West Indies last game 131. So imagine that, and then the batters hardly broke a sweat in chasing that total down. So against that Australian side, against a side which by the way are the favourites to lift this World Cup once again, I really hope that India can pull off something miraculous, because considering the performances that they have done till now, especially against New Zealand and now with the England side, I feel they're going to find it extremely hard to beat Australia. But of course, having said that, they really need to take it on a day-to-day basis. They need to make a few changes also. We saw the bowlers did their job to an extent. At one point, by the way, guys, England were 4 for 2, and at 12 for 2, Nat Skiver, who played really well along with Heather Knight, she also dragged one ball onto her stumps, but the bails never came off.
And that was, I think, Julian Goswami who was bowling.
Yeah, at that time, if Nat Skiver was out, it would have been 12 for 3, and then it would have been a different ball game altogether. But because Heather Knight and Nat Skiver then just took the attack to the Indians, both of them had a very good partnership, and that just sort of took the onus away from India.
We can just hope that before the big game they get together well, and we've been watching that they have been performing in bits and pieces. That is not what they require. They need to unite as a team and play as a team. You have to do well in the fielding, you have to do well in the batting department, you have to do well in the bowling department, which is not happening. Apart from one game that they played as a team against Pakistan, they did pretty well in all the departments. But here against Australia, they will have to make sure that they tick all the boxes when they meet the table toppers on the 19th. But here today they faced a defeat against the defending champions England, who are placed 7th in the points table.
They are now 6th, by the way. So let me just give you an overview of the points table. So the Australian women's team are currently top of the pile. They have won 4 out of 4 games so far. Second is South Africa, who have played 3 games so far, but they have been victorious in all 3 as well. So these 2 teams are right now the favourites to reach the semi-final for sure. Currently, India is in 3rd position because of their superior net run rate, because of the heavy margin of victory against the West Indies as well as Pakistan. So those 2 victories have given India a greater net run rate than 2 other sides who are, by the way, tied on 4 points each. That's New Zealand women and West Indies women. And because England women have already played all their difficult matches and they have relatively easier challenges ahead, I feel England are also going to be in the mix. So it makes it very hard for India to lose a game and then qualify. So they've got 3 games left, out of which one is both 2 games are against the 2 unbeaten sides.
Yeah, exactly. India will play 3 games, one against Australia, once against South Africa, top 2 teams, and then Bangladesh. Hopefully,
Bangladesh, we know see, Bangladesh, we expect them to win. Of course, they can, like Pakistan.
But today also we were expecting.
No, but
our
England,
expectations were quite high.
But
Siddhant.
England are still a different challenge than Bangladesh because England are the defending champions, reigning champions.
But they weren't performing
They
well.
weren't performing too well. They haven't done too well. That's why I'm saying it came as a surprise the way India performed. Like they were on the back foot right from the word go, which was quite unfortunate considering.
How much did the toss play here?
I really don't think toss mattered.
losing
I don't think toss mattered quite a bit because we saw Charlotte Dean, the youngster, the spinner, took four wickets. Took 4 wickets, who by the way hasn't even played much cricket in this tournament itself. She came in for this game if I'm not wrong and then took 4 wickets. Of course the damage was started by Anya Shrub-Soul.
What a spell she bowled. 2 important wickets right from Yastika Bhatia to Mithali Raj if I'm not wrong because Dipti Sharma was run out. So 2 important wickets for her, but as you say,
another disappointing show, another disappointing performance, and both Shazia and I, as you can see, are like we thought, we expected a lot more from this Indian women's team against this England side, which was low on confidence, but that did not happen. So now India is currently 3rd on the points table. But
let me just bring you the quote from Mithali Raj's press conference. She said, "When you lose, you always think you are short of runs." This is what she has to say after going down against England. So, but
I really hope that she leads from the front next game onwards because you can't solely depend on Smriti Mandhana and Harmanpreet Kaur. And with Harmanpreet Kaur injury now becoming a point of contention whether she'll play the next game or not, it'll be a huge challenge for this Indian side to sort of even put up a big fight against the Australian domination. So that's all we have for you on sports today about this Indian women's game against England women that we lost that England won by 4 wickets. We'll be back with more. So keep watching and keep liking, sharing and subscribing to our channel. Thank you.